Hi, this is Carrie Brownstein.
This is DJ Premier.
This is Darren Aronofsky.
You got the RZA right here.
Rose McGowan.
Radiohead.
Aisha Tyler.
Tribe Called Quest. Fred Armisen.
Fritz Paul.
Javier Munoz. Seth Meyers.
Frankie Cosmos.
Flying Lotus.
Hi, we're Chaim, and you're listening to the Talkhouse Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Talkhouse Podcast. I'm Josh Modell. On this week's episode, we've got a couple of guys who are big parts of hardcore's current wave. Julian Cashwan Pratt of Show Me the Body and Graham Sayle of High Viz. Now, Show Me the Body was conceived when Pratt was still in high school in New York City, enamored of the town's history of aggressive punk and that music's propensity for political lyrics. But Show Me the Body, like other current hardcore bands making waves in the past few years, doesn't stick with the genre's typical signifiers. For one, Pratt's primary instrument is banjo, and it's attached to sounds that draw not only from hardcore's past, but also electronic blasts of noise and even some hip-hop. Show Me the Body's latest album is called Trouble the Water, and it's both tense and intense. It's a hell of a listen, though the band needs to be seen live to fully experience. The other half of today's conversation is Graham Sayle, whose band High Viz formed in London around 2016, and whose version of hardcore dials in a healthy dose of British post-punk. They've been described as a mix of Factory Records and Cro-Mags, that'd be the legendary label that spawned Joy Division and New Order, plus the legendary New York hardcore band, which is sort of perfect. There are elements of goth in there as well, but with a smart, sneering energy that's tough to deny. Show Me the Body and High Viz just started a US tour together, and they collaborated on a song and accompanying video that was just released on an EP called Corpus 2 EP2. You can find tour dates at showmethebody.com, and check out a little bit of their collaborative track called Stomach right here.
Never let nothing slip. Still lose my head before I lose my grip. All the bruise and the bones that we split, it means nothing to me.
As hardcore dudes often do, these guys chatted about what hardcore means to them, including that sense of community you can't get anywhere else. They also talk about how having a child has changed Pratt's outlook a bit, and how he's still fired up politically and ready to put it all out there on the stage. Enjoy.
The only reason I ain't got my microphone on is because I'm butt ass right now.
Prove it.
Shit, bro, you want to see my ass right now?
Well, it breaks the ice, doesn't it, before we go on tour together?
Right? Butt ass, got the hat on.
You know what?
Butt ass.
Good. You've cemented your place as someone I don't think tells lies. What do you want to talk? What is this like? I feel like this is relationship counseling.
Yeah, right?
Oh, that video I think went all right last night.
Yeah. I'm glad you like Marley. He's cool, right?
Yeah, he's cool as fuck. I know him through a couple of the youngers in London.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing in it.
I met him through, you know my boy Rago Foot. He's a sick artist, sick producer, good rapper from London, and brought Marley to our show that we played together like in London like years ago. And I thought the kid was like, at the time he was like just skating and rapping.
Yeah. And
I was like, yo, this kid is a menace. I fuck with this kid. And yeah, he just got good young boy energy. He's a kind person. And so when I thought about putting this video together, I was like, who knows the young bucks? Like who's really outside? You know what I mean? And he was the first person I thought of. So I was super happy that he was excited to do it. And he likes High Viz as well.
Yeah, he's cool as fuck. There's loads. It's funny in London. His lot are all skaters and like all just active and all out. Like you say, they are just truly outside. They're smashing it.
Yeah,
it's good to see, man.
Yeah.
It feels different to when I was young, innit?
It feels different.
Just feels like more fucking. Them lot are way more productive. Like we fucking hardly did anything in it as kids. We just fucked around. But them lot are all like, especially in his group of mates are all fucking smashing London and sick.
I feel like in general, there's a lot more tools for the youth that are available, even as far as just like having a cell phone. Like on an organizational level. Like I remember like when I was younger, like there used to be like a couple payphones still in our neighborhood, and we would call each other's cribs on the payphone, and we'd be like, yo, meet me at on the back on the last car of like the 3 train. You know what I mean?
When I was a kid, it did make you fucking wait around for people, didn't it?
Also, the art of waiting is a serious thing, bro. Like nowadays, like sometimes you just like get lost and like doom scrolling on your phone and stuff like this. But like, I feel like actually just waiting there and spending time with your thoughts is like a lost art form. I used to have an older cat who used to tell me, bro, always take the local train so you could think.
Yeah.
and don't wear headphones on the train. Because like, one, you should be aware, and two, that's prime existential thought time.
Yeah.
By yourself on the train, take the local so you could think longer.
I don't use my phone on the train and make sure not to do it. Generally, I'm just thinking about everyone on the train, thinking, I wonder what the fuck you're doing. Or just like peering over the person next to me and seeing what fucking weird shit they're scrolling, looking at.
Yeah.
There's always something off key. There was a geezer on the train today, just like looking at like girls' dresses. Just some like,
no.
But like he was like an older businessman, but he's just, I don't know. Who knows what the scenario there was, but it's always funny.
Hopefully he's just trying to buy somebody a nice gift. Yes, I was talking to my auntie the other day. My auntie's always like, she was like, I'm fucking 50-something years old. And she's like, it still baffles me that when people sit in traffic or people wait on the train to get where they're going, that people don't just kill each other. she's like, I still don't understand it. And like when it happened in New York, she's like, that makes sense. And she's like, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more fucking often, because it seems like human nature to want to kill each other. And I don't know. But yeah, we've been touring like a whole bunch, and I've been home for like 3 weeks, and it's the longest I've been home.
Wait, you've just become a dad?
Yeah, I'm a father now, bro. It's fucking sick, bro. Honestly, it's the sickest thing ever.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Like, it's honestly, and it's not even changed my life a lot, but it's more changed my family's life. Everyone's going through it and stuff like that. And before we had a kid, felt like my immediate family was really going through it, and having a child, and even with my own friends, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you feel the same in your community, but like in the last couple of years, we lost a lot of good people, frequently, and whether it's like, due to like whatever. And I didn't realize that it heals people around you. So it heals your family and it heals your friends. I feel like I spent so much time in my life losing friends, whether it's like to lock up or to death or, to drugs or something like that. And now the crew has gained a homie. You know what I mean? Like, it feels damn near incredible, man.
My mate's had a kid in it, and she's like, I think she's 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's sick as fuck. She sits there and watches fucking videos of us playing and shit like that. It's just like, it is proper cute being an uncle-ish. I don't think I'm going to do it myself, personally.
Yeah, why is that?
I thought about it a lot, and like, my brother's disabled, and I know that in the future, looking after him will be my responsibility, or helping him.
Understood.
So, I know I shouldn't really think about it as well, but I feel like that's my thing. You know what I mean? Like, basically, I don't know if I should do it myself. And also, I'm not to be cynical or whatever, but fucking state of the way.
No. That's respect, bro. You got a lot on your hands and on your emotional plate. You know what I mean? I think that's a completely justifiable way to feel. I really dislike when people are like, oh, I could never bring a child into this world. I was like, oh, so you're just going to suck up all the fucking energy yourself? Or like, it's so hard. It's like, yeah, when has it not been hard and difficult? Yeah. You know what I mean? Or when has the world been nice and happy and not murdering each other? You know what I mean? And I think it's definitely become part of my normal thought process.
Yeah.
And I think it's always been part of my outlook on the world, but it's now become my process throughout life and in music as well, in like demanding and thinking about the impossible and striving for that. Even, you know what I mean? Like in like having a child, like knowing that like New York sucks. It's hard to live here. The rent's too damn high. But like at the same time, like it's always been fucked. It's not going to get any easier. And you might as well try to spread love if we have the time and ability to. But I don't know what kind of stuff your brother goes through, but I was special ed my whole life. You know what I mean? Special ed, full schooling.
Yeah, he's independent and he does stuff, but I feel, obviously feel a responsibility to look after him. He's like, but I also one of the ones you don't really know how things are going to look in it. Do you know what I mean? Like I was saying, it's kind of important to plan ahead and not rely on anyone else because no one's going to do it for you.
Yeah, 200. Yeah, I think maybe in other countries are kind of given and like, like they help you out. And I think in America, it's like they really make people pull their pants down to get any kind of support.
Oh God, I was just going to say, I see it with my mum in it. Like, I see it with, you just have to fucking absolutely battle to get just the fucking bare minimum for people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's hard enough when you're just fucking forced to like justify your existence just to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think America and England are kind of one and the same. Even though if you have a baby in England, I heard that you get fucking like $1,000 a month.
I don't know what the situation is with child benefit, like money wise, but you will get support. But that's the thing, that like having like basic socialist understanding that you like, you know, should as a country help people survive.
Don't say that word, America, brother.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the thing. But like, such a fucking dirty way. I just saw a little bit of the fucking, like, obviously just a clip of fucking Harris Trump being like, she's a socialist. Like, bro, what, you don't want to, like, you just think, what, you want everyone just fuck them, like, to die or whatever?
We came out to Europe like twice this past year, and it's funny. I feel like I have so many feelings about America when I go other places that I kind of don't really think about when I'm in America. And I'm like, dang, these assholes really got it nice. Like they have siesta for real. Wow, they are, you know what I mean? Like, wow, like sometimes you'll pull up to a venue and everyone's like drinking coffee, and like my first instinct as an American is I'm like, get to work. Nobody's working here. Like, what do you guys do all day? Like, you know what I mean? America, if you think the work is done, the boss will be like, sweep the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in America, like it's easy to be out there and be like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? And like, it's funny. I wouldn't say I'm like anti-American, but I'm not specifically patriotic, I'd say.
Yeah.
But when I go overseas, bro, it's USA all fucking day, bro. like we have these army kids who get like leave from their base. They're stationed in Germany, and they come to all of our Germany shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And we have so much fun. It's just crazy to hang out with some like kids from Atlanta type shit, like in Germany, in like a small town in like fucking like Weinheim or something. It's so sick. But the last time that they came through the show, it was like kind of like a quiet show, because, you know, Germans they're respectful people.
Yeah.
They're kind of quiet, and there was 4 of the little army brats in the front, and I was like, yo, give it up for the World War champs, USA, and everybody's like, and like the dudes in the front are like losing their minds. They're like, oh, yeah, it's so funny. But we just like to joke around. We like to have fun. But I hope I don't hurt anyone's feelings by the jokes that I make, because I like to make a lot of jokes. You know what I mean?
I mean, some people fucking know how to take it.
I think also like Europeans becoming uncomfortable by like joking around is very funny to me, because like, yo, y'all started this shit. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm gonna say what I want. You know what I mean? I'm only like a shitty byproduct of your culture. You know what I mean? Like you guys have health insurance. Like I'm allowed to make jokes.
One thing about America is you do fucking make more money. People like earn more in it. Over my wife's from New York, and she's just like, yo, like you might have healthcare, whatever, but you guys are fucking poor. Like, you just like, I remember chatting with people about the band and stuff like that, and they were like, how much you want? You know, how much you want to make a month? Or realistically, how could you live? How much could you live off? And I was like, probably like $2,000 a month. And they were like, are you fucking joking me? Was that it? I was talking to someone before about it. I was like, fucking, I pay like 75% of my fucking wages go on paying someone else's mortgage and paying for my fucking lecky or paying for my water or whatever. Like, it's fucked. Just don't have any money.
What's a lecky?
Oh, electricity.
Lecky, that's crazy. The lecky, I fuck with that. That's crazy. I mean, it's the same thing in the States. Like if you rent, sometimes you don't have to get, like, I don't pay for water, but I pay for electricity. But also in the States, everybody's in debt. So I don't really pay for electricity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they call every 6 months and they're like, you owe us $8,000. And I'm like, all right, I'll give you $1,000. And like sometimes they'll just be like, okay, great. But also like people don't tip in Europe, because like as an American, I just assume the wages are good.
Yeah, it's not the case. People are broke and told to fucking deal with it and put up with it, I think. And we're all like, yeah, okay. That seems fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. In America, they're like, yo, just vote. It's like, okay. It's a dark one. But hey, at least you come to America, you're gonna make more money.
Wait, that's why I started this shit. That's why I got into hardcore punk.
Exactly, right? But a big blue faces, a hardcore punk. Definitely, bro. Hell yeah. That's why we do this shit.
I started having a conversation yesterday about all that shit. About fucking, so it's always people criticizing it, always people being like, oh, well, you did this and you did that. And I'm like, who's paying your rent? Like,
yeah. You know, somebody told me like this, Ian from Regional Justice Center. Now he's in like military gun. He was telling me about a conversation that he had with the older fool, and he was like, bro, like, you know, I want to wear a nice jacket and I want to wear like nice Jordan, and like, you know, kids are like talking shit. And he's like, bro, those are literal children that don't pay rent. Like if you pay your bills, it's very rare that you would be upset by another person's like clothing. You know what I mean? Like if you have actual problems, it would be pretty rare that like you would take the time out of your day to comment on another individual's like spending when you were doing this. I mean, you're older than me, but I imagine, how old are you, fool?
38.
Yeah, so you're a little older than me. At least and I'm sure you felt this, and maybe you're even old enough to see it on the other side, that you were around for the last time hardcore was cool. But when I was younger, it wasn't cool.
I've literally just talked about this, like the different peaks and troughs. And I was like, it's funny this time around, like back then when there's like some bands became kind of, or there was like a possibility of people becoming popular, everyone like quickly went, oh, fuck, well, let's just quickly like start adding these like melodic parts and start doing this like really fucking weird, disingenuous shit. And then like, and everyone was just like, nope, that's over there. And then now, everyone's like, people are doing it, but no one's like compromising. And it's like, look, bands who are just becoming popular, making, being able to like do this on a scale where you're not having to like work another fucking 2 jobs on the side or whatever.
Being able to eat.
Exactly. But it's nice to see it this time.
Yeah, definitely in New York when I was younger, everybody always just thought like if you liked punk shit or like you were either just like a junkie or gay. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, or both. Yeah. And yeah, but like it was like, I don't know. I think it's so funny too. And I think it's lovely too that like kids who are into music are not like being ridiculed, which I think is totally awesome. Yeah, I feel like as a younger kid, definitely like it wasn't even like the scene was violent, the shows were violent, and like when you were younger, you would like scrap other crews, but like it was really other people outside of punk that would like actually beat you up. Like, you know what I mean? It was like
growing up, it was just sort of. I remember getting fucking chinned in the side of the head, like just for like looking a bit like a mosher, and I got quickly like learn to adapt how I dressed so you don't get beaten up for looking like a fucking weirdo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's cool now that everyone like you go to hardcore shows or whatever, and it's just like it's not as like regimented or whatever. You couldn't pick anyone. Everyone looks subcultural. I go out and walk down the street and I'm just like, I walk past people thinking like, oh fucking, I wonder what you write, or like, you know what I mean? And they're just like work in the city or whatever. I'm just like, you look like you belong to something. That I'm like, oh, what is that?
That's fucking funny, bro. Yeah, drunk at the bar asking everyone what they write because they wear Stone Island shit.
Yeah. Like, I literally have no idea what you're talking about. What you write? Like, I know.
He's like, bro, I just bought this polo on the street.
I've literally spent £500 on this fucking waterproof jacket.
It's funny, like the history of like streetwear in New York is so specific, and it's tied to like graffiti and shit and hip hop in ways that like I know that you're up on it and shit like that, but I think like most young people are not even aware of like they just associate it with late 2000 hypebeast sort of thing. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, like Living Proof just put out that book about bros like polo collection and stuff like that. That shit is like so ill. I think it's dope. I think it is an interesting thing how style evolves. Sometimes I get upset because I'll be like, dang, because the internet, like everybody look the same nowadays.
It's a funny one. In that song Trauma Bonds, talking about fucking tears on my Gore-Tex and like that being like a specific reference to like people shoplifting fucking the most expensive jackets and like having the competitions, basically like about having competitions with each other in like certain circles of friends that I know, whatever. And how that like now it's like people just, want the expensive thing. And I'm like, mate, like back in the day, that was like people like try and get the more obscure, mad, fucking techie, like €600 jacket going on trips to like pay for, you know what I mean? Pay for their life in like holiday trips, raising fucking 40 jackets at the time. It's like, it's all stuff that, people did at a time. And it's like, funny now, if you just like I say, just fucking everyone looks like someone you might know.
At the hardcore festivals in Europe, I feel like I'm like, dang, you look like you're from Idaho, bro. But I think as far as the shows go, I'm only happy about where the shows are at with like the kids coming and the accessibility of everything. And at least in the city, there's still like a lot of like underground punk stuff happening. Kids are still throwing shows in like bandos and stuff like that, which I'm really excited about. That's still happening.
That shit doesn't change, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, people always say this to me. They're like, "Are you still in touch with the hardcore scene?" I'm like, "Of course I fucking am." Like, do you think that you like all of a sudden go, "Do you know what? That thing that I fucking love doing and done for fucking years."
Yeah.
Like, do you think you're just gonna stop being interested in it? Like, and I've got like just because you know, certain bands or whatever, or certain shows are like big, doesn't mean that like there isn't like the absolute pure sick hardcore and punk scene that exists. And like there's also people are going to go against that. People are like, fuck that, we're going to be like more gross or more obscure or whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, everybody has a part to play. I think that's really dope. Growing up, I felt like it was, and I guess it's also kind of pre-internet, is I felt like all the hardcore dudes were like, oh yeah, fuck that crush shit, like fuck all that stuff. And like, you know what I mean? Like all these different cliques were like, nah, fuck that. And I'm into this. And now I feel like it's super sick because like we'll go to a show and like everybody's dancing how they want to dance. And like some kids are like beating ass and doing spin kicks and some kids are doing like side to side. And like when I was growing up, that would be at one show and all the dancing would be like that.
Yeah.
And at the other show, all the dancing would be like this. And I feel like nowadays, like nobody talks shit on each other's dancing. People are just like having a really good time.
Everyone's just like fucking going actually, and that's punk as fuck. It's like you realize how like weird you are when you're like, but no, but isn't it meant to look like this? Like I'm so used to like that's punk as fuck. Yeah.
We started to get more like straight ahead hardcore fans like after we did that tour, like those 2 tours with Code Orange back in the day. And I remember being in Philadelphia and this kind of like harder part that we do pops off. And this kid just got in the middle and just started like doing crazy spin kicks. And I could audibly hear this chick next to him go, oh no. It was so funny. It was like, yo, like, we're not in control. Like the crowd is growing and like these kids want to do what they want to do and everybody should be allowed to do what they want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was so funny. We were like just swole enough that like you could hear everybody in the room. It was like a silent part. She was just, oh no. It was fucking so funny.
I mean, we're both doing stuff that's like, you know, it's not fucking, obviously we're like into hardcore and that, but it's not like, do you know what I mean? It's not fucking, it's not hardcore, isn't it? So it's like, it's cool to be able to be...
Like I say, it's not capital H.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. I do also like saying that, telling people that, no, we're a hardcore band, just because those people are like, no, hardcore's this. And like fucking start loads of people, no, it has to look like this. It has to be that. I'm like, nah, sounds pretty fucking... Sounds pretty conservative to me. Like
in New York, we used to catch the other side of that because it's like, of course, we came through hardcore punk, and people used to be like, "But like, you're a hardcore band, right?" And like in publications, and I remember being like a young dickhead and be like, "I don't know what you're talking about. We play rock and roll." Just be like an asshole, but absolutely, I think also hardcore and hardcore punk rock is much more about almost like a spirituality. You know what I mean? And I think especially America, and maybe you can correct me and say that's similar to England if you want, but I think that at least in America, we are largely as a people, you know, if you're not an indigenous person, if you're not from the islands, if you're not like a practicing Jewish person or Islamic person, you're very devoid from public ceremony and like participating in public interaction and being spiritual with other people and being elated with each other. And I think hardcore is kind of just a way to be spiritually active with your community as people who like don't have a connection to that shit. You know what I mean? Like we're kids that are like from the city or from the suburbs that are like upset, and I don't have a ceremony that I can do with my friends and my peoples besides like smoking kush and like beating someone up and writing graffiti. But like hardcore is like a way to like be together and have an elated positive experience. You know what I mean? So I always think of hardcore less about like, oh, does this band sound like this? Does this band have parts that sound like this? But like, does that band participate in the ceremony? Do they create the spirit when they play? And that makes kids want to dance and like jump off the stage and go nuts. You know what I mean? Like, can you create the spirit?
Yeah, proper nice way of putting it. I think like, and yeah, it is. I mean, there's very little given to sort of like maybe like football matches over here or something, you know, like stuff like that, kind of like tribal gathering.
Definitely. Tribalism. I feel like in New York, like I would say that baseball used to feel like that, but it doesn't really anymore. Jackie, who plays jumps for us, he still loves the Yankees, but the Yankees are dope, but it's become a different thing. You know what I mean? And at least like sports in America are really expensive to go to and like really a corporate experience now.
Same here, isn't it? I think like I'm not a football fan necessarily. Like I'm from Liverpool and it's quite I used to go and watch Everton as a kid. I used to get taken by my uncles and stuff like that. And like, obviously I remember the fucking energy of those things, but I didn't necessarily feel like participatory in them. So like in hardcore shows or whatever, I could like, felt like I was, throwing myself, like literally just throwing myself into stuff.
And I think that's another cool point to touch on, is that it's part of who you are as a person. And it's part of who you are, not only musically, but how you look at the world. It's not just like musical tropes that define this thing. It's how you feel and what you do with your time.
Yeah, definitely. It shapes everything, really. It's like,
yeah,
I think all like, especially all other subcultures have like been involved in or whatever. It's like the most important one for me, definitely just because of like how fucking much shit I've done with it.
Yeah. I feel like also there's a lot of people who are part of hardcore that like don't even play in bands.
Yeah.
But like they are 100% part of like hardcore if like they're like just like a dancer, or they like me where they throw shows.
Rap bones. It could be like those people in London, fucking very specific moshes who go to shows.
yeah, absolutely.
Always happy when they turn up. She'd be like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna make sure I keep an eye on him or them or her."
Yeah, completely. It has to be like in a place and done by you and a community. Like I think like not any smoke to black metal. I think black metal's cool as hell, but like it's almost like the opposite. It's like supposed to be done like in seclusion and like without community. You know what I mean? And that's dope too. But like, I mean, like I don't like where was like what scene did I know like you were in like it was like Dirty Money, right? Like but like was all the homies in High Vis, were they part of that scene? Like when you was younger?
In kind of like alongside each other, like you were saying before, it was a bit more segregated back in the day. I played in another band called Tremors with Ski, and he was like a fast hardcore band. We all like Martin played in a band from Ireland, and he was like in the same scene. Do you know what I mean? Really, but like Rob Hamron was more in that kind of like faster hardcore scene, the more sort of like snotty DIY, which I mean, a lot of the time I think a lot of stuff seemed people wanted to be like, oh no, this is true hardcore. It's like, oh, that's like New York hardcore. That's a bit more ignorant or whatever. And I find like little scenes had different signifiers. And I found a lot of the people who were like telling you what the hardcore should be were generally the sort of the middle class and privately educated people, rather than like people just like the people who I like when I first moved to London, all the people doing like Ruction and stuff like that here, which was like felt more like the sort of the people I felt more comfortable with, not ones telling me how things should be, just people who were like happy to, and they like accepted our band and shit like that at the time as well.
Hell yeah.
I thought that Hellfest was it's like that was like going to a fucking weird French like mosher church, innit?
Yeah, it was
just all these everyone there in like fucking Hellfest shirts, and like, everyone they just go and watch all the bands because Hellfest has created it. It was cool.
Yeah, it was like Disney World for metalheads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I was gonna make this joke, but it was like all of the stage that we played. You played that stage too. The Warzone stage.
Yeah.
It looked like that specific stage had watchtowers.
Yeah.
All around the stage, and I was like, dang, they really made the Jewish band play in the concentration camp stage. But it's like I was like, let me not make that joke. Let me still not think I'm funny. But yeah, Hellfest was cool, man. We had a great time playing Hellfest. I think it was a cool vibe. That everybody who worked there also liked being there, which I thought was really cool. But it was crazy because at Hellfest, because nowadays I have to say my piece about Palestine at every show, and at Hellfest we played for like a lot of damn people. It was like thousands of people. And when I said my piece about Palestine, I saw like maybe like hundreds of people go like that, and a lot of people walked away, and that was pretty. And that was pretty, because usually it's like we play a show, maybe there's one person at the show that doesn't know our band, and they're like, oh no, fuck that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, fuck you, let's get it. But like it's usually not like a portion of the audience, and like a large, maybe like a solid like eighth of the audience was like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck you, dog.
You know what? I'd rather people just did that and went, no, like, rather than just like then going home and fucking sending you messages. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather people just like to your face, like, no, fuck you. Like,
yeah.
And then you can just go, well, that's you then, innit? But
yeah. Figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But I at that show at Hellfest, I kind of felt embarrassed because it's all on camera. But I was like, "Yo, come up here then. Like, if you have a problem, like, what's up? Come up here." And none of them would, and I got so upset. And I was like, and I like ended the show like a fucking like in a tantrum, like an idiot. Like it was like a good show, and I ended the show like like a fucking child. But I really wanted to sock somebody, but nobody wanted to come up and get socked.
There's no fucking conversation to have here. Like, don't you know what I mean? I'm like, it's just it feels fucking people trying to like argue with you.
No, I don't argue with anyone, man. I mean, especially when I go to Europe, like people are like, maybe have a conversation. Like, no, the conversation is the show. You're at the show and you're there to experience what we have to say, and that's the fucking conversation. And anything else that you want to get into is on you after the show. It's kind of strange because like we'll like be in Germany and like people like there's one festival we played, they tried to get me to sign this paper that said like I will not say anything political on stage. Like I will not talk about a nation, I will not talk about any wars or like the military. And I was like, what the fuck? And I just like didn't sign it, and they didn't press me about it. But it was like, if I do, I will like forfeit like payment. But like I didn't sign it, and nobody talked to me about it. But you know, it's like we're Jewish people in Germany. You can't tell me what I can and cannot say. One. And two, if you tell me that I shouldn't say something, I'm definitely gonna say it, bro. Like that's just step one. You tell me you can't do something, I'm probably gonna do that exact thing. But we tour together. I doubt that there will be much confusion over that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I am happy about, because I think, you know, and you guys have like played like some benefits, right?
Yeah, it's I think being vocal about people educating themselves, and also like not doing what you can in it, I guess, as well. I know understanding your own colonial history and like and the history of your country, and like because people are like, well, it's fucking like, you know, this is England's fault. I'm like, yeah. Like I'm not of course I'm not an idiot, like
Graham, you are England.
Yeah, but you're England, didn't it? I'm like, well, Merseyside. Technically, fucking my dad's Jewish. You know, fucking my mum's Scottish.
I'm Jewish. That's cool, man. You're a fucking Jew. That's sick.
I'm a bit.
That sounds pretty Jewish to me, bro. Yeah, I could see it now. I like that. Yo, and I'm sure people told you this your life. They're like, oh, it's, you know, your mother has to be Jewish for you to be Jewish. You know what I mean? And this stuff like that. That's bullshit, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's bullshit, because that's a part of Israeli law. Like ancient is not the country of Israel. Ancient Israeli law that's like about tribal rape, and it's like the only way that you could tell is if it came out of a woman who is Jewish. That's the only way that we could tell. Like it's archaic as far as I'm concerned, and also obviously I'm a Jewish father with a Jewish baby, and her mother is Puerto Rican. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a Jew that I made. You know what I mean? So sorry to let you know, Graham. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. Sorry to ruin your day.
That's it. It's just changed my whole life.
Bro, you know, it has that effect on people sometimes. You know what I mean? Before we wrap up or whatever, because I got to do shit. I'm cutting up this video like right now. Deadass, like kind of like ridiculous how last minute we end up doing everything.
Is the footage all right?
Yeah, the footage looks sick. And I think the song is sick, bro. And thank you for being down to do it. It's actually like the first time that we've ever like done like a long distance song relationship with anybody. You know what I mean?
It's good, man. I'm fucking like, I'm glad I did it again. And I think Ski was like talking to me about it yesterday, and he's like, fucking hell, bro, that song's sick. He's like, I wish I wrote that song. Which is coming from him. He's particular about stuff. So it's a compliment.
Awesome. That's sick, man. I'm glad he feels that way. I hit him up the other day. I was like, yo, did Graham show you the song? He's like, no. And I was like, oh, bro, what? Come on, man. I'm super glad. And he was talking about maybe on tour, you guys playing it sometimes. And then sometimes Show Me the Body could play it. But if we both learn it, that would be really fun. Yeah. And then maybe one day we could do it like the Big Boss Bruce, and do it with like 12 people on stage, and
12 people on stage, get some strings, get some fucking
8 guitars and shit.
Gospel group.
Yeah. Last day. Yeah, dude. But I'm just super happy that it came together and that it doesn't suck. I feel like super blessed to, as even not only as a musician, but also as a fan of y'all's music, to have it come together. Like,
thanks. That's nice.
For real. I'm super hype on it.
I proper appreciate it. Yeah, it's good, man. Fucking thanks for asking me to do it. I want to see the video now, innit? Get chopping.
Yeah. Literally, I gotta go get groceries. I gotta finish this video. I gotta do shit, bro.
Thanks for listening to the Talkhouse Podcast, and thanks to Julian, Cashwan, Pratt, and Sayle for chatting. If you liked what you heard, please give the Talkhouse Podcast a review on your favorite platform, and don't forget to check out all the good stuff at talkhouse.com. This episode was produced by Myron Kaplan, and the Talkhouse theme is composed and performed by The Range. See you next time.